So you're thinking about moving to Dubai. That's awesome. But there's this one number, this one cost that honestly shocks just about everyone who makes the move. It's not your monthly rent. It's the huge pile of cash you need before you can even get your hands on the keys. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that real upfront cost of renting here looks like, so you are not caught by surprise.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've seen the mental prices online, you've probably sketched out a basic budget, but how much cold, hard cash do you actually need in your bank account on day one? Well, the answer is probably a lot more than you think.
You know, here's the classic mistake pretty much everyone makes. We look at our budget and we think, okay, I just need the first month's rent. Seems simple, right? But the reality is you get hit with this wall of upfront fees, deposits, and commissions that all demand your money at the exact same time.
And bam! This is what that wall can look like. For a pretty typical one-bedroom apartment, let's say the annual rent is 80,000 dirhams. You could need nearly 48,000 dirhams in cash before you've even thought about buying a single piece of furniture. That is a huge number.
So why is this such a shock to so many people? Well, it's not because the costs are some big secret. The real problem is that all those online calculators and budget guides, they're laser focused on your monthly expenses, and they completely gloss over this massive one-time financial hurdle right at the start.
And this is exactly how it happens in real life, right? You don't get one big itemized bill. You find out about these costs piece by piece. The real estate agent casually mentions their fee. Then, when you go to register for utilities, they tell you about their deposit. And the real kicker, the housing fee, it just sort of appears on your first utility bill. Each one on its own seems manageable, but when they all pile up together, that's when you get that budget-breaking surprise.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, let's build that wall of costs together. We're going to do it fee by fee, so you can see exactly where every single dirham goes. And we'll stick with our example, that 80,000 dirham a year apartment. First up is the big one, the single largest payment you'll make. See, in Dubai, you generally don't pay your rent month to month. Nope, you pay in advance using post-dated checks. It's usually 1, 2, or 4 checks for the whole year. And your very first one is due the day you sign that lease. So for our 80,000 dirham apartment, if you're paying with 4 checks, which is pretty common, your very first payment is a massive 20,000 dirhams. That's 3 months of rent just gone from your bank account before you've even moved a single box. All right, next up is the security deposit. Now, this one's pretty standard no matter where you live in the world, right? It's the money you give the landlord to cover any potential damages, and it's typically 5% of your annual rent. The good news? You're supposed to get this one back.
So for our example apartment, that's another 4,000 dirhams out of your pocket. And even though you'll hopefully get it back when you leave, it's still cash you have to have ready to go on day one.
Okay, unless you found your place through a friend, you probably used a real estate agent, and they need to get paid too. This is the broker's commission. It's a one-time fee, you don't get it back, and it's also, yep, you guessed it, usually 5% of the annual rent.
Okay, let's just pause for a second and look at how fast this is adding up. You've got the huge rent check, the security deposit, and now the broker's fee. Just with these 3 items, we're already at 28,000 dirhams, and we haven't even turned on the lights yet.
Speaking of turning on the lights, let's get into the next layer of costs, connecting to the grid. These are all the mandatory administrative steps and fees you have to pay to get your power and water running. You literally can't live there without doing this. And there's a very specific order you have to do things in. It's kind of like a quest. First, you sign the lease. Then you have to register that lease with the government. It's called Ijari. Only after that's done can you connect your electricity and water, which is called Diwa. And then, if your building needs it, you connect something called district cooling. And of course, every step has a price tag. That Ijari registration, that'll be a few hundred dirhams. Then you've got a refundable 2,000 dirham deposit for Diwa, plus another potential 2,000 dirham deposit for that cooling system. Tack on the internet setup fee, and boom, you're looking at another 4,500 dirhams or more just in setup fees and deposits. You'd think after all that, you'd be done with the big financial surprises, right? Wrong. There's one more sneaky fee that doesn't hit you up front. Instead, it just waits and then inflates your very first monthly bill, catching so many people completely off guard. And this right here, this is a story I hear constantly from new arrivals. You budget, say, 600 dirhams for your utilities. Then the first bill shows up and it's 900. You're thinking, how did I use that much water? Well, it's not about what you used. It's about a fee nobody ever seems to talk about.
And this is the culprit. When you look at your utility bill, it's not just for your electricity and water usage. There's this other massive slice of the pie called the housing fee. This is the hidden cost that blows up your monthly budget.
So here's what it is. The Dubai municipality charges every single tenant a housing fee. It's calculated as 5% of your annual rent. And how do they collect it? Well, they just add it to your DEWA bill, broken down into 12 monthly payments. So for our 80,000 dirham apartment, that's an extra 333 dirhams tacked onto your bill every single month.
I know. That's a lot of unexpected costs, and it can feel pretty overwhelming. But here's the thing. Just knowing about them is half the battle. So let's shift gears now from outlining the problem to giving you a solution. Let's turn all this potential anxiety into a clear, confident action plan you can actually use. Okay, here it is, your 4-step financial game plan. Step 1, and this is the most important, calculate your total upfront number first, before you even start scrolling through apartment listings. Second, when you find a place, try to negotiate for more checks, say 4 instead of 2. It really helps with your cash flow. Third, when you're making your monthly budget, treat that housing fee as a separate line item, not as part of your utilities. And finally, keep track of which costs are refundable deposits.
And that last point is so important. You have to think of these costs in 2 different buckets. In one bucket, you've got your refundable deposits, your security deposit, your DEWA deposit. That's money that's just being held. You'll get it back. But in the other bucket are the sunk costs, your rents, the broker's fee, the ijari fee. That's money you're spending that is gone forever. Knowing which is crucial for your peace of mind.
Look, the amazing opportunities in Dubai, the tax-free salary, all of that is absolutely real. But so is this entry cost. The people who really thrive here are the ones who see it coming and plan for it. So the question isn't just about the money. Now that you know the real number, are you ready for the opportunity?